Happy to be with you is what I am.
Chris Mahana Kwanzaa. Yeah. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, whatever it is you want to get upset about. There you go. I believe happy holidays is more Christian than Merry Christmas. Because Merry Christmas, you're just doing it for your own clique. Happy holidays is love to everyone.
Right.
And you can see why that would upset the people who loudly proclaim they're Christian.
Yes. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. No one calls out the fake Christians like you do, which is why I saved Pat Robertson for you.
Oh no, Pat Robertson. Whoa, what did they do now?
Okay, well here, just take a listen. Okay, he's very happy about the whole, the lawsuit, the seditious lawsuit. Okay.
Yes. I want to say something to you. God is never late. We declared on this program, and you joined with me, that God Almighty was going to do a miracle and stop the theft of our election and the fraud that was being perpetrated on the American people, and that God himself would intervene.
Whoa, and Jesus loves the Confederacy anyway. I mean, wow.
Didn't
he?
Why does again. God only makes Republicans president? Didn't God make George W. Bush president? Isn't this kind of a theme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Barack Obama was just, a clerical error on God's part. One of God's every now and then God makes a mistake, like the male foreskin or the female orgasm. Things he wishes he didn't make and he can't take back. Like marijuana plants or, Democratic presidents who saved the budget from Republican presidents.
Right. Okay. Oh, but wait, there's more, John.
Well, I have before you right now, this is the brief that is being filed by the state of Texas, and there are 18 now states attorneys general who have joined in this suit, and they're going to the Supreme Court to say this election was rigged. You've got to overturn it.
Wow.
Wait, hang on. There's a big
statement of the case, and it's all here very, very carefully worked out with citations. Ted Cruz arguing. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to pray, I would pray, because we cannot have our election system destroyed.
So God is intervening. We are currently in the middle of, we are soaking in it, in a miracle. In a miracle right now, God is intervening.
Yes, isn't it great? And God put Donald Trump in power, just like God put George W. Bush in power. Once again, right-wing racist people confusing God with an electoral college that was demanded by dead slave owners. My favorite part of that was when Pat talked about how Ted Cruz was going to argue this before the Supreme Court, because I guess they like Ted Cruz now.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. I did a little thing when Ted said, I'm all ready to go before the Supreme Court. And I was like, yeah, okay. Ted Cruz is also ready to bravely throw rings into Mordor, or take part in the assault on the Death Star, or take care of Sollozzo and McCluskey if Clemenza can plant a weapon somewhere inside the Italian restaurant, making fun of Ted for things Ted will never do. And Ted Cruz last night around midnight saw this tweet and responded to me, not realizing it was a joke. And he said, if those are options, glad to do them too. I'm getting heckled by Ted Cruz on Twitter.
Oh my God.
That's my Christmas miracle. And I just tweeted back to him, they're not options, Senator. Like defending Trump's attempt to steal an election, those are other things you'll never do. And when Trump runs against you again in 24 and insults your wife again, you can defend him like the amoral supplicant you've chosen to be.
Oh!
Yay!
I love you so much, John Fugelsang.
Superstar.
Ted Cruz is the Abraham Lincoln of Sarah Palin's.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Good for bully on you, sir.
I guess Santa brought me more high caliber trolls. That's what I got.
And speaking of being a liberal giver, a helper on Twitter, you said, I am open to having the Electoral College award Trump all those Emmys that were rightfully his. Will he take those as a consolation prize and just get out?
Little things we can do. Offer him that military parade he wants. And that way, but it's in Florida. Go on down that it's there and he'll show up. I mean, it's not going to be hard to get him to leave the White House. 3 hookers and a guy with a net. I keep telling you, that's all you need.
Yes, you retweeted Jim Jordan, who said the WHO now recommends against hugging over the holidays. Like we said last week, pretty soon you won't be able to say Merry Christmas. And you said Jim Jordan blowing off rules about inappropriate physical contact since the Ohio State locker room.
Oh, yeah.
I see what you did there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jim doesn't have a lot of barriers there. And again, it's like we have to take a step back and remember, as awful and corrosive as all this is the last dying gasp of this racist 1950s part of white male America hanging on because they believe the power belongs to them. There's no ideology
That's
here
what this lawsuit is. Everything old is new again, John. This lawsuit is no, black people can't vote, as it turns out. If they do, right.
That's all. It's everything. It's everything bad about the Republican Party. Finally, it's like the end of Avengers. They put it all into one big movie because it's all the racism. They're trying to overturn the votes of certain counties, meaning cities, meaning whose vote.
You know which ones.
It's all of the white supremacy. It's all the male entitlement, and it's all the whole notion of this power belongs to us because we want this power the most, and your votes don't matter. It's like every Republican greatest hits of our lifetime in 51 failed lawsuits.
Yeah, 55, but who's counting?
Oh,
I am. Yes, you summed it up. You said the MAGA creed is 1, the pandemic scare is a hoax. 2, but Trump deserves all the credit for any vaccine. 3, and a vaccine must be called the Trump vaccine. And 4, there's no way I'm taking that damn vaccine.
Right?
Sums up the logic, pretty much.
You gotta call the Trump vaccine. Have to call the Trump vaccine. And no way am I taking that crap. Not my body. Big government. Bill Gates following me. No way. Bill Gates is now following old people in England, I guess. That's how he's trying to track them with his vaccine. I think it's exciting. I think, I mean, in England, they get it first. I'm not sure why England gets it first.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure.
Well, their process is not quite as rigorous as ours. So let's talk about that.
Did you see the first man to get it? His name is William Shakespeare. That's nepotism. Nepotism.
I think thou dost protest too much. Okay. The FDA granted Pfizer emergency use. This was last night, basically, right? So the 17 in all, 17 members voted in favor. 4 voted against, 1 abstained. The few votes against the approval did not question the vaccine's efficacy, but were focused on the narrow dispute, the need to inoculate young people, right? They didn't think there was enough data on 16 and 17-year-olds to, so
right.
that was, John, I mean, it is good news, and yet once again, Trump has completely bungled this, right? Pfizer, and you know exactly what this was because Pfizer said no. He gets no credit for this. They were no part of Operation Warp Speed. So when they offered several times to give him more vaccine, he said no. And so now it's not America first, it's everybody else first. So now all these, I can't remember, EU, Japan, all of these countries will get more first because they were smart.
Yes.
Right? And it's,
Yes, more than us. Yeah. And again, Donald Trump ran for office claiming that vaccines cause autism because he's so into the science of things. So right up to the end, he's literally an anti-vaxxer, you and your family getting the vaccination on time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, his fans will never know this because OAN and Fox will never tell them.
Yeah. We said it yesterday. The CDC director, Robert Redfield, instructed his staff to delete an email from a Trump political appointee seeking control over the agency's scientific reports on the pandemic. I don't know if you saw this. The email was aimed to water down the CDC's famed morbidity and mortality weekly reports to match Trump's efforts to downplay the virus. So then it's illegal on top of illegal. You're not supposed to delete emails, but there, it was this ridiculous misspelled email from someone that was, of course, completely unqualified for their job, right? And okay,
that's all we're praying for. We're praying for just plain, boring, disappointing, uninspiring competency. That's all we want, Santa. That's all we're asking for here. Just knowing that nothing's going to catch on fire today. You know what I mean? That's really it. Yeah. Knowing that our president's not going to slip a roofie to the Queen of England. That's as good as it gets for us.
That's where we are now. I'm like, another appointment. I don't know who they are, and they seem boring and totally competent. Fantastic. Good. Let's move on.
Yeah, thank you, majority. And again, I mean, these 106 congressmen that have all filed on after these 18 attorneys general, and they're all following Ken Paxton. And here's the beauty of it all. This whole Texas lawsuit, first of all, the racists always said, we're not racist. We believe in states' rights. And now they want the states to have the right to undo the votes of other states.
Yeah.
They were racist all along. But Ken Paxton is under indictment. and he's under investigation by the FBI. And literally, he's only doing this to get on Donald Trump's swollen pardon list.
Yeah.
So all of these 106 Congress critters and these 18 attorneys general are all piggybacking on a felon or on an alleged felon who is only trying to get a pardon. None of them mean it. It's all a grift.
Yeah.
Trump has raised $200 million since this happened. And thank God Donald Trump is so broke he can't afford a real legal team.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
A legal team that knows how masks work. Can you imagine how much worse they'd slow down our election if he'd actually hired real lawyers and not people like Jenna Ellis who were there on an outpatient basis?
Yeah. And how disgusting is it? Giuliani admits yesterday that, he only, because he's a celebrity, he's the only reason, because he's a friend of the president, that he got this treatment that nobody else is able to get. These Regeneron and antibody cocktail.
He admits it.
Yeah. I mean,
Rudy's last act is exposing himself.
I just look at these 300,000 families nearly who've lost someone, listening to them go, yeah, nobody else. And another thing that, Trump lied about, you're going to have the same medicine the president did and you're going to get it for free. It's just so, some of his lies are so egregious, John, because it's about life and death, and it gives people false hope that, of course, so you know how many people have died since he said that?
Yes.
Saying goodbye to their loved
murderous
ones on an
lies.
iPad, and they because they can't get Regeneron, right? Because he screwed that up too.
If 3,000 of us were dying a day from plane crashes, we'd ground all the planes and say, let's slow down and do something here and get to the bottom of this and not risk any more American lives. Donald Trump won't mention it. 3,000 is more than we lost in a day at Pearl Harbor. It's more than we lost in the San Francisco earthquake in 1906. I mean, and it's more than we lost on 9/11.
Yeah.
And yet he won't mention it because he doesn't care, because he never cared. And all I want for Christmas are Democratic elected officials who call this out as effectively as comedians do.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the Lord's work. And honestly, the people
you
need
are.
to be outraged.
You're the one that pointed out that technically 3 of Rush Limbaugh's wives have already seceded. You pointed that out. So for someone talking about secession.
Yes, they have already voted to secede. He still has the 4th one. And every night when the pulley system lowers him onto her, I hope she really thinks about her options. That's all I'm saying.
I just think I'm
really thinks about
All right, with that visual, we leave you now of that and sugar plums dancing in our head. Guess what? The Sexy Liberal Christmas show, the virtual tour, is next Saturday.
Yes.
It's amazing.
The best of 2020 virtual tour with some new Christmas bits, some new material sprinkled in there. Please go to Sexy and experience the brilliance of Sir John Fugelsang.
That's right.
I'm sure there will be a mini film festival in there as a tribute to John Fugelsang's New York films.
Yes.
Award-winning.
It's going to be very exciting. I'm going to have another announcement to make on your show next week about a show that's going to be really cool. And tonight on Sirius XM, I'm only doing the last hour on my show, but my guests are Bob Dylan's son, Jesse, who has this amazing new film about George Soros that everybody should see. It's there to counter all the lies you've been fed about this guy's work his whole life. And then James Patterson, the biggest selling author since the Bible, joins me to discuss his new book about John Lennon. And it was really cool because
I was just going to say, I thought of you so much that, Imagine's my favorite song of all time, but I thought of you because of the anniversary of Lennon's death, and you were say it again, last person to interview
George Harrison.
Okay. But you were,
I was
right?
a little kid when John Lennon died, But I was at Strawberry Fields on the 10-year anniversary with my kid brother, and then I took my little son there this year.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because when James Patterson's people asked to have him on my show, I said, look, we have a rule on the show. We don't say the name of the guy who killed John Lennon because he did it to become famous. And when you say his name, you are proving he was right. And James Patterson, biggest freaking author since Stephen King, agreed to it. And so we talk about the last days of Lennon, and he never says his name. It's an amazing interview, and that's airing tonight
my friend Glenn,
on Sirius XM Progress.
Cool. My friend Glenn is in New York. He sent me a bunch of great pictures from the memorial this week. I always
not a lot of social distancing, I got to say, Libs. Not a lot, but we stayed on the fringes. My kids freaked. I've had a crazy COVID week I'll tell you about next week. But let's just say there's no more school for my child this year. It's been quite a time.
Oh, my
God.
Ay. 2020 is true to form, is ending the show it began.